right ahead of the Pacers versus the Lakers in the in-season tournament championship. Clear Path Hoops is here to discuss what we think is going to happen, who's important, who to watch, and ultimately give our prediction. Let's just jump straight into LA's favored by 4.5. Um, I think that's based off of a few pretty strong games, including LeBron James playing seemingly at like peak old man power right now. Additionally, Indiana has two injuries. Currently, Nemhard and Jalen Smith are out, which are bigger losses for Indiana than the Lakers, who basically only have Gabe Vincent out. I assume, Anthony Davis, LeBron James are both listed, but as game time decisions, but they will obviously play. Um, Based on this, it does make sense that betting markets would favor LA personally. Um, And I think this is the beauty of the in-season tournament format. This is the beauty of winner take all, is that anyone can win. It's just one game. Based on all of this information, let's go. Who do you have in this single game championship in-season tournament finals?
Yeah, I think the Lakers are the easy pick, I think, for fans out there. I think there's a couple narratives writing that we definitely have to talk about in this game. The first is obviously just LeBron kind of securing another notch in his belt, which is obviously, first ever winner of the in-season tournament, kind of that type of notch,
Right.
which is definitely true. I feel like in a big game with all the pressure on, they might be better. I feel like this is kind of weird though, because there isn't really much pressure on either team. Like if the Pacers lose, they don't really lose anything. I guess the second thing
Right.
I'll say, like, the second kinda narrative is Tyrese Haliburton as the up and coming star in the NBA. I feel like he's definitely got an MVP candidacy run in this little
Hmm.
run thing, and we can talk a little bit more about that. But then the third thing is also just how will kind of the pace of the Pacers offense be countered by essentially the defensive prowess that the Lakers hope to present? Because there can definitely be a situation in this game where the Pacers just run away with it in terms of threes, in terms of points,
Right.
and the Lakers can't keep up. So if it's an offensive game, I think the Pacers will definitely win. But you can respond to kind of some of the
Yeah.
narratives I was speaking to.
Yeah. So let's just talk a bit about what we'll see during the game. We have the luxury of being able to talk very specifically about like very specific aspects of the team because it's only sample size is going to be small. Indiana plays really fast offense. They get into their offense really quickly. They take shots really quickly within the first 10 seconds of the shot clock. They're perhaps at least a few games ago when we last talked about them, they were the fastest team in the NBA
Yep,
in terms of
first
when
in
they're
pace.
getting their shots off. And this year, by this game, they're still there. What that early offense means is that a lot of the time they're running sets that can result in very quick open shots. They have really athletic cutters, ball handlers, passers with good feel. Obviously, Tyrese Haliburton. And I think because of their early offense and because of how quickly they want to get into their actions, um, a lot of this game will depend on Indiana's ability to, or excuse me, for the Lakers' ability to slow down the game, play in the half court.
Yeah.
I think that, I think LeBron, like for example, against the Pelicans, LeBron played an amazing game where uh, he almost ratcheted up the pace. He found a lot of easy buckets in transition. He took a lot of transition threes. Um, he was able to dice up, especially the interior of New Orleans in like semi transition. Um, I think that could happen this game, but I think the Lakers ideally don't have to play that way. I think something that comes with Indiana being the league's worst defense is that the Lakers can get a lot of looks, whether it's like 5-second
Yeah.
LeBron post ups, whether it's ADLBJ pick and roll, or whether it's just finding open threes with the creators and floor spacers that they have. So I
Yeah.
think a slower game from the Lakers combined with elite rim protection is going to make it difficult if Indiana can't get the pace they want. Which to me, if I have to boil this down into something, I think if Indiana's hitting their threes like in a one game sample, then the game will be competitive. And if Tyrese is shooting at a high level, I would say that Indiana has a pretty good shot here. But um, because I think rim protection tends to play out over the course of many games more than it. Like, there's potential for AD to show dominance in one game. But I do think that a lot of this game will come down to 3-point shooting variance. And I think the Pacers are on a hot streak right now. So I'm interested in their chances, and I will pick them just to be more fun. And I also think that, the shots are falling, but what's like the X factor for you this
I
game?
think the X factor is like if the Lakers can make threes, I think that's the big thing this game that you're going to want to watch for, because this game, as you kind of spoke to, and I spoke to a little bit, is the Lakers should be able to get anything they want driving to the rim. If they have trouble driving to the rim, then this game is going to be a blowout, because that's where the Pacers are weak on defense. Miles Turner's supposed to be a good wing defender. I mean, a big defender, but he really doesn't have any help in that regard whatsoever. And who to put him on, LeBron James or Anthony Davis, is going to be really tough this game as well. So I think there's really nobody to match them inside. And that's going to be the big thing to
Yeah.
watch for. If the Lakers can start making threes, specifically LeBron James, if early in the first or second quarter he starts making a couple threes, I think this game is over. I think there's not really much they can
Yeah.
do. The converse is that if they aren't making threes, which the Lakers usually aren't making threes when it's not the in-season tournament game, they they'll struggle and maybe lose this game. And just for the note, I think this game doesn't count as like a regular season game, so that everyone knows. I mean, I don't think this will affect the Lakers or the Pacers record whatsoever for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Um, this is more like, out of all the in-season tournament games that teams will care about, this is the one that both teams will care
Yeah.
about, because
100K.
money's on the line, fame is on the line. And I think, something that we've had the fortune of watching is Indiana run a lot of really fun actions, kind of introduce themselves to the NBA.
Absolutely.
And I think tonight is a good way, if you love basketball, to see lots of fun things like Spain variations, to see a lot of fun DHOs, a lot of fun back cut, like lots of fun actions will be on display. And I think if Los Angeles truly has like the defensive ceiling that they displayed last year in the playoffs, at least before the Nuggets series, the ability to shut that down via, top blocking, via good on ball defense, insane rim protection. I think LA has all the defensive tools. If I was looking at LA versus Indiana in a 7-game series, I would take Los
Yeah,
Angeles,
you take them in like
because
5 or
their
something,
defensive
yeah.
ceiling is much higher, and because I don't think Indiana can take the physicality and the versatility of AD +1 pick and roll or LeBron James +1. And I think that tonight will be different in the sense that there are games where that doesn't manifest.
Yeah.
Like,
They can just
the
shoot they can
2017
outshoot the team
Warriors
so
lost one
badly too.
game, right?
Yeah. Like, it's just
Yeah.
one game, so
So
I think
yeah,
it's,
I think tonight's game is down to shooting variance. And I think it favors Indiana because I think Indiana gets more shots because of their early
yeah.
offense. So tonight, my single line is, if Indiana is hitting at or above the level of threes that they have been the past few games, they will
Yeah,
win.
I think for me, I think this game has a lot of boom or bust prospects, and that's what I was gonna kinda ask you too. I think this game is one of those that's like, either the Pacers win, like, a pretty close game, or the Lakers just blow them out. I think there's a, like, scenario where kinda like the Pelicans game, that game was over in, like, the second quarter, and you knew it, and it was really boring to watch, actually. And I think there's a chance with this game that we're just like, "Oh, they just can't handle the Lakers' physicality," and the Lakers, like, actually wanna win now, so they just destroy them.
Mhm.
So, I think for me, it's like, I'm gonna pick the Lakers, but what do you think about, like, that boomer bust possibility? Do you think that's likely in this scenario, or do you expect a close game?
I, th- I expect it to be close because
Okay.
with all this stuff on the line, I would be surprised if the game doesn't slow down a little, but I think it still gives Indiana a chance to get into the sets that they like. I think tonight is also like a debate about, or it's kind of a validation of, well, I don't want to say validation. It's only one
Yeah.
game, but there's been a lot of talk of Haliburton like ascending, right? Superstars don't ascend after 2 games in the regular season or even the in-season tournament, but the passing ability, the floor spacing, the elite shooting that, and the shots he can create for himself. If all of that is on display tonight, I think we will have a better idea of the Pacers' true ceiling. I'm not going to make any judgments off of either team for the season off of tonight. I'll take Indiana in a close one, and I assume you'll take the Lakers. And
Yeah, I think the Lakers will win by 20.
Okay, well, that'll do it. This is our in-season tournament championship preview.